Hello, my dear collective. Let's dive into this music channeling once again. Hope you guys are doing well. Also, for those that have snow, congratulations to us. I just woke up to let me just say my vibration is high. Okay. Um, I just love snow. I love when things are changing weather wise. It just brings me so much happiness. It's a good day. Okay, it's always a good day, but when it's snow, it's a good day. Okay. Um, I mean that could be relevant as well. But go to song to worship you I love. It's actually a Christian worship song. Okay, those that are part of the Christian religion, you know this song very well. It's Israel and New Breed. Okay, the group. I have done past readings. I will link it just as per usual. Okay. What could be relevant is Gemini Sun, Taurus Sun. Okay. I also channeled Justin Bieber, so some of you guys could be dealing with a Pisces, or you have Pisces placement. Same thing as the Taurus placement, Gemini, and so forth. This song came out 2021, so that could also be relevant. The year 2021, separation, beginning, and ending. Let's deal with the cards, okay? But basically, this person wants to worship you. Message number one. Or two, they're gonna partake in the same belief system. So if you are somebody that believes in a monolithic God, they too also will join into that energy. Okay, so I do remember because I was trying to figure out where the older readings were and the titles of those. Okay, because as you guys know, I got like 5,000 videos on my YouTube. Okay, I've been doing this a long time for you guys, so make sure to clock in, make sure to listen and to like and subscribe and to comment. Okay, all that good stuff. But yeah, I say this to say I'm gonna dissect it to two parts because in one of the latest videos I did. Good morning. Also, I divided into two sections. One section for the people that they want to worship you as the divine goddess, or divine masculine, or like the soulmate that you are. This is the soulmate where it's like they're all about you. It's given Morticia and Gomez, Adams, like the Adams family. If you've seen their love, I also love the Wednesday. Okay, I've been into my gothic era. Listen, yesterday I saw Frankenstein. Okay, but the updated version, it was so good. It was so good with Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi. It was just like, what's his name? Guillermo del Toro. He's such a great director. Okay, and then I followed up with parts of Phantom of the Opera. I'm still gonna continue that. Okay, maybe that also is relevant in this reading. Maybe you're dealing with somebody that loves art, movies, films, like the Renaissance days, theater, literature, right? Costume playing, old movies, old music, right? And when I say old music, I'm talking about the era of classical music, okay? In this sense. But yeah, one person, part A is going to be your person worshiping or being very devoted to you. And then I'm going to do group B is for the people that are going to kind of go intermingle or intermarriage into the same religion. Okay, so if you are a Buddhist or part of Islam or Christianity, like I said, but because this is a worship song, they too also kind of like will believe, worship the same thing you do. Okay. Side note, because even though I know a lot about religion and different religions, right, more so than others, I will say this though, I'm not a religious person, but I do feel like in the context of the group B, it's more so like, because I've noticed I've been getting a lot of like Christian or just religious nuance to my messages, that there's not going to be a barrier of loving your person because of what you believe. And in some of my readings, it has been that little thing that was hard to comprehend, process, or even tweak, right? It could have been in the sense of like, you as a person, you're like, I don't care if they're not vegan, but you gag up every time they bring meat. So instead of just, let me just, I will take some time every time your stomach feels some type of way. So now your partner is respecting just to eat meat when they are outside, right? Some people, they're okay with cooking meat, right? But others, they have sensory issues, right? And I feel like it's the same thing where it's like bringing it into religious context, okay, because I'm trying to just make that neutral. You go to church, every Sunday, or you go to the mosque every Friday, right? And the person is like, it's cool, but then now they want you to be partaking in the church going, right? Because they want somebody to discuss what took place, because they feel this loneliness of, okay, I believe in this and that, and I'm not here to force my person because we joined together for love, right? But over time, there's going to be a discussion of like, what took place and the future of it all and how we're going to manage if we have kids, all that, okay? So somebody can't tweak it anymore, okay? That's what I mean. So yeah, let's continue. Let's just start with group number 8 for the person that wants to like be devoted to you in the sense of like how Gomez is in terms of Morticia, okay? The Addams family. I think that's the best like description of being devoted to another person, at least in a fictional sense, okay, where it works, like they actually formed a family based on that. But usually it's kind of like the other way around. The man is devoted to the feminine or vice versa, right? If you know movies, there's, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't really seen a let me devote myself to you. Like, totally. The only thing I can go back to is like fiction. So that is the Addams Family, Romeo and Juliet. It's also one of devotion, but I cannot say, as you guys know, Romeo and Juliet they devoted themselves so much that they fucking died, okay? At least the Addams Family survived, okay? So yeah, let's just do this. So we're gonna just shuffle for group number 1, okay? What's relevant with the cards for the viewer? Maybe I should do like a timestamp. Was that 8:36? 8:36. So this is a person that's going to be so obsessed with you, everything is all about you. They don't care about nothing else but you. Woo! And they might be upset and angry with themselves and other people, but they don't care. Like just how Gomez was to Morticia, that was his everything. And he was down the hill for his everything. He worshipped the ground that she works, that she walks, okay? So, based on the cards, we got Egypt. You could be somebody that is from Egypt or not. Somebody could be dark skin, okay? A Black American, African, Black European, Black Asian, okay? There could be difference in complexity, okay? One is fair skin, one is dark skin, okay? Um, so we got this card here. So a lot of you guys, your person is about to move. So they're going to relocate, or they want you to relocate, or it's gonna. I'm getting the energy of like, instead of them doing any type of waiting, they're gonna be like, let me just, you know, let me take action. I feel like somebody's on their Romeo, Gomez, Adams type of energy when it comes to you. So this means like, if they live with other people, if they were part of a community, they're gonna leave that. They're gonna leave the community, move out, get rid of those people, friends, family members, co-workers, for the sake of this connection. It's a little bit like this, okay? But I do feel like somebody is frustrated and kind of like, no, my focus is on my Morticia Adams. My focus is on my Julia, okay? My focus is on the divine feminine. I don't give a flying fuck about anything or anyone else. That's how this person is moving. This person feels like, oh my God, I'm devoted. I made a promise. I made a vow to my person. I'm gonna stick beside it. And I don't care if I die. I don't care if we're exiled. I don't care if I'm exiled. I don't care if you look at me like I'm a freak. They're gonna go down on the hill for this love, for this connection. Okay? Like, this person might even look like this. Like they're on some sort of spell work. They are looking crazy, unhinged, like not stable, because they're acting so obsessed. Okay? They might from the outside looking in, people might look at them like, why are you so obsessed with them? Why are you so frustrated? Why are you so like, possessive over them? Let them breed. If you have seen the Addams Family, Gomez was obsessed. Everything Morticia did, he like, oh my God, mon ami. He was obsessed with her. Somebody could also be French. So I feel like this person is ready to be on that vibe when it comes to you. Like, it could be a little bit controlling, possessive to the outside people, but you might love it. You might like, just like Morticia Adams, she's like, I love when my person is obsessed with me. It's giving that type of energy. Okay? If it's not worship, it's devotion. If it's not devotion, it's, it's like possession, but in a healthy way. If you think it's clingy, if you think it's too much, obviously, that's a fucking stalker. But, all this fair and love and war. I do want to say that another song that explains this song very good is this song by the Arctic Monkeys, okay? This specific song, I Want to Be Yours, is also a great example of worshiping, okay? If we're going to take out the spiritual context of it all, okay? This is for group number 1. This person don't plan to ever divorce you, leave you, nothing. They would die with you. Like, literally, that's the type of vibe they're on, okay? Anything else for collective? I think I said enough there. I feel like they are now kind of frustrated because they feel like they're getting nothing, no reaction, no response. I also feel like they feel literally unhinged. They're about to crash out. This could be somebody that's very cool, calm, and collected. They don't act out of their emotions. They don't get triggered or reactive. But with you, or concerning you, they're going crazy, fam. It's crazy. Okay? Like, I'm going crazy, thinking about you, baby. Lately. Listen, somebody, they're a hook, line, and sinker when it comes to you. It's funny. I do feel like it's a masculine though. But, make it make sense. You guys, I read for everybody. This is all inclusive. But we got 6 of Swords in reverse. Let me just check. So all my cards are upright. They are. Something about not being successful enough. is hindering them coming towards you. Something about them being not cool, calm, and collected. It's kind of like they never really knew what love was, devotion was, obsession was until you. And this is driving them mental, okay? And everybody else is looking at them like, yo, like, you're doing too much. You need to chill. And they're like, no. I feel like they were acting based on impulsivity. I'm not going to lie. All of a sudden, they're living with their group of friends. And they're like, I'm going to move. I need something for myself. But literally, it's kind of like the vision they have for you and them. This is how this soulmate is moving. They really feel like they have no time to waste. And they feel some type of way that they've been wasting so much time without preparing for you and them. That's how in it they are, okay? Lord, they can't even sleep. They regret the day you got separated. They regret the day you guys broke up. They regret the day they didn't take action, okay? So for a lot of you guys, you know who this person is. Or for some, you don't, but you're about to meet them. But it's kind of like, you know how you meet the person, the love of your life, and they should have taken action. Like, for instance, if somebody's like, I should call them on Monday, right? But then they wait until next week to call them. And now the energy is different, or you guys got together. This person is in their mind. If it turned out like this, I would have called you on fucking Monday. So they're upset the fact that they wasted a week to call you. Like, something of that nature is also relevant. So that is for group number 1. Okay, the devotion part. The I want to be yours, Arctic Monkeys. This person is about to take action. People are gonna look at them crazy, okay, because they're all about you. And yeah, on a serious level, on an obsessive level, on a devotional level. How you feel about this? If you're anything like Morticia Adams or Julia, you're gonna be like, come home, baby, let's do this. Now, if you're not, you're definitely gonna be like, you're giving me the ick, you're giving stalker vibes. I need to call 911. Okay, get the fuck away from me. So this is like make it make sense, okay? But I'm definitely gonna see you, hear you. They're gonna know that you're gonna speak up your mind when it comes to anything that you would be for or against. Because remember, Morticia and Julia, all of these people. Well, we take Julia out of the equation. Any feminine here, the masculines are the one that's gonna devote to you. They're the one that's acting unhinged for the sake of this connection again, for being with you, for going insane. It's not the other way around. This is not on a mutual census where it's like you also feel crazy about this person. It's all about them feeling crazy about you, and they're taking crazy impulsive actions for the sake of this connection, and also are being so hard on themselves for letting heavy on time come in between of a sooner union. Okay. There we go. Let's pull one card from this deck and then move on to the next. I feel this should be for everybody. Remember, when things come into place, collective, with your person here, I need you to set healthy boundaries. It's great that everybody is like on the same accord and you being worshipped. However, there need to be, remember this, because with devotion, obsession, worship, anything that is over the top, their balance is non-existent, which equates to boundaries not being existent. So make sure you have your boundaries in place, because there is nothing this person would do. Like, literally. And they're on this shit like there's no tomorrow. It's almost like your life matters more than their life to you. That's how they're moving, okay? To the next group. So the people, group number B or 2, where it's like you're somebody, you couldn't be with your person because of your belief system, right? And your person was really trying to, like, you guys were trying to kind of make it work, but you guys couldn't tweak it. You guys couldn't find a compromise, or it was hard for somebody, or they didn't get it, or it was just too complicated, right? Now they're learning more about your belief system, and I feel like they're getting the hang of it. I'm not sure, but they're willing to try again. So again, this is people, soulmates are going to put the effort for the sake of this connection. Okay. Oh, bottom line for everybody, group A and B, they want to be with you, they're devoted to you, and they can't be without you. Okay. So this is a person where it's like they're putting in the effort and kind of learning more of what you believe in, so you guys can have like a common ground, okay? Because they want to worship the person that they want to be with, or they just want to kind of understand what you're worshiping, who you believe in, so they can also like be on the same ground. So like the next time they ask you to go to church or mosque or the temple, there would be no questions, right? Because they get it. And not out of respect, but out of understanding, okay? Listen, make it make sense to you, but we're going to pull some cards, okay? What matters. So we got this one here. In reverse, they're definitely keeping an eye. They're definitely watching everything like you are the teacher right now. So if there's separation, they're learning everything they can by themselves, but they're also watching you. So like when they come in, there will be no type of like misunderstanding or mishaps or even defaults. Okay. And when I say they're learning from everywhere, they are. They're trying to learn from you, people you know, people you don't know, everywhere. Okay. It might feel a little bit TMI, but it's kind of like a lot of them are contacting like spiritualists, priests, and high priestess, and like actual priests, deacons, like people at the mosque, right? Like teachers, scholars, all of that to know more about your beliefs. So again, it will not create any confusion. A lot of them are going to people that are a bit older, that has a little bit more authority for them to kind of like break it down what it means to believe in a certain like belief system, and if it's like doable, like everything. I'm talking about like A, B, and C, reading, understanding, interpreting, taking classes, having, I don't know how to break it down, but they're really in it, okay? It almost feels like at some point they will even look more religious than you, but I think it has to do with the fact, like, when the time comes, again, like I said, it will be no confusion, okay? A lot of you guys are of darker complexion, or there is a difference in, like I said, ethnicity, nationality. But like when I get the Egypt card, it kind of reminds me of Kemet, right? People that are of darker complexion, Black American, you get it, okay? African, and so forth. But then, obviously it says Egypt, so you can also be from that country. I have different cards, so just make it make sense, okay? Maybe somebody wants to learn about like Egyptian mythology, folklore, things of that nature, okay? There are definitely like in this shit, okay? They're really trying to understand how you learned the things you learned, but also how they can also understand it in the same way, okay? This person is reaching for the stars. I feel like this is also stressing them a lot. They can't sleep, maybe they're getting dreams. Maybe somebody's getting into spirituality, but they're trying to figure out and they can't. This is somebody that has been like, they're up day and night, how to figure out your spiritual beliefs or how to go about it. Okay, because it could be something where it's like, if they grow up in a certain belief system, if they grow up Jewish, right? They can't just all of a sudden not be Jewish, like, because it's like when they get married, it's like, well, you're Jewish by blood, so therefore you need to like not forget that, It's like, I feel like somebody is like, I'm not religious, but when they met you, they're like, if you guys are gonna work, it almost like they have to be religious, okay? Like I said before, it's much more easier to find people that believe in the same thing, All right. I've noticed, and it's tough to say because you can't help who you like, you can help who you fall in love with. But this could be the situation where it's like somebody. Now we're talking based on belief system, but if we go way back, it could be in the sense of like one person is black, right? One person is African, one person is darker skin, and your family is like, we prefer somebody that is lighter skin. You know, internal racism goes on. Colonism is a thing, right? If it was just colonism, like your parents is like, if you're gonna date somebody, I want you to date a lighter African, right? Or a lighter Indian, or a lighter Asian person. But you can't really change your skin color, right? But it's just like that. Same thing with the belief system. You can change it, but it's kind of like, almost feels like you're changing your culture, right? In some religions, there is a loophole where it's like you can marry this person based on this, that, and the third, right? But the question is this: what about if you have children? What about if you get married? You know, this could also be a dilemma, like where they can be close to you. Let's say I would say this: maybe it would have been easier if you guys were just kind of like having fun, but maybe you're part of that mindset now. Or even culture where it's like, you don't do that. Some people, they believe in celibacy. Some people, they can't be with somebody unless they are married, right? Some cultures and yeah, some cultures are like, hookup culture is for the West, right? Or maybe you're like somebody that's very spiritual now or very religious, who like, yeah, used to be kind of crazy on the Western end when you guys were younger. But now when you're older, you're like, no, you want somebody that's decent and kind of goes in the same paths as you. This could be on this religious thing, right? Hence the song. And they're like, oh, okay, we can't really be together like we used to be because now they're religious, now they're spiritual. So this person is like, I need to learn because I might lose this person based on the fact that I don't understand why they believe in so, right? Somebody's really, they might have anxiety. It's really stressing to kind of trying to find a middle ground, trying to get where you're at. Now, my easier explanation is this. They can just find somebody else, right? But that's kind of harsh to say. But they really want to be with you. So they're very much getting into this like they ain't got no choice. I do really feel like there's an essence of being exiled. Like, you know, feeling alone. Feeling misunderstood from everybody else. It's similar to like when you used to live a fucking ratchet life. All of a sudden you are religious now. You know? Think of like the most craziest people, all of a sudden they're like going to church, going to the mosque, going to the temple, and everybody else around them is like, when the fuck did you become religious? You know? Now they could have a spiritual awakening, but for a lot of them, I feel like it's that, but it's more so because of who you are, right? Because they want to be with you. Okay? That's the energy here. Okay? So, yeah, there's definitely differences between socioeconomic status, belief system, culture, ethnicity, nationality, heavy on the belief system between you and the soulmate. And everybody else, they won't get it. Okay, because they having a hard time getting it as well, but they want to do this for you. Okay? From some of you guys, when they get it, you guys will reunite. If they don't, it will be as such, and they will, you know, dream about what could have been, but they couldn't make it. They couldn't pass the test. They couldn't understand the nuance of the belief of it all. Okay? This could be another example. On a Christian level, a lot of people don't want to deal with Muslim people because they feel like it's the sun and the moon, right? It's pretty similar, but this is the thing. If you're so steadfast in your belief system, you will think everything else is wrong and yours is the right way. Because that's how you grow up. That's what you believe in, you know? And it's hard to find a middle ground, because I really do feel like somebody will leave one's belief system for another. Okay, and that's a hard thing to process, you know? Side note, on a personal level, just have boundaries, okay? This kind of reminds me of forgetting yourself, leaving yourself for another person for the sake of love. It's not that deep, but somebody is in this energy, okay? Where it's like they don't care if they neglect themselves for the sake of love, okay? And that's where the devil card comes in. It can become very obsessive, toxic, you know? All of a sudden your person becomes a new personality. But I'm gonna leave my moral judgment to decide. For some of you guys, you have you are from the past life connection, okay, or you just dealt with each other in the past, okay. But until reunion happens, they need to understand your belief system. That's what this is. So yeah, this person here is still holding on to you, still holding on to what you said. And this is giving them like insight and clarity. And this is why they're working so hard to understand where you are right now, so you guys can come together. Okay. For a lot of you guys, there was some sort of manipulation, or they thought that you were manipulating them or talking gibberish, but that was not the case. Now I do see clarity, and I feel like this is why they want to learn. Okay. I want to do like an advice card for everyone for group number 2. Like the watcher, okay? So nothing is wasted, okay? This is not in vain. I feel like this was like test for you and this person, and you have to go through it, okay? I do feel like somebody is very much, I will say this though. As somebody that used to be so religious back in the day, like I kid you not, there was no way I would have entered into this based on how I was growing up on a religious level. And this is even would take my family out of the context of it all. But God opened my eyes to other things. That's why I'm here today doing this, okay? So it's not in vain. It's just hard for somebody to compartmentalize. And I kind of feel like group B, your person is going through a spiritual awakening in terms of what they believe, okay? How they were believing things, what they were taught. They will have to kind of like relearn everything. And it's because they met you. That's what this is, okay? So obviously everybody else and how they grew up, they're going to look at them like they're crazy. But what is happening is a spiritual rebirth, okay, with this person for the sake of a new chapter, but heavy on for the sake of love, okay? But again, a lot of you guys, from the outside in, it kind of looks like this person has an ultimatum. For you to be with this person, you have to believe in this. But again, it's not something you're doing. It's something you said. Therefore, that's why they're changing. And it kind of activates their spiritual awakening. But if it's so, it's a part of the process. Let's do an advice card for everyone. And I'm going to wrap it up and go watch my Phantom of the Opera, okay? And enjoy the freaking snow because I'm happy. Listen, this is your advice card dealing with the person that is trying to understand your belief system and coming into it because of the sake of love. Be open to receive and know that you guys are abundant. If there are any struggles, it's because of the outside people. But this person, this soulmate, don't want to have any struggles with you on any shape. Definitely not on terms of what you believe in. Okay? And this is why. So, Collective, this has been your message. Now, I don't have any initials, and well, we're gonna leave it as such. Thank you for watching. Okay. And reunion on both ends. Let's pull some dates for everyone. Okay. I'm heavy on divine timing. If there are any numbers coming up, take that to heart. If not, thank you for stopping by. January 5th. January 5th is irrelevant for somebody, okay? We got number 3, 3 hours, days, weeks, months. We got 7, same thing, hours, days, weeks, months. And that's it. Okay, for some of you guys, you could have been waiting for 7 years. 3 years, okay? For them to kind of understand where you are on the spiritual level. 37 could be relevant, okay? Timeline or age, for instance, 37 hours, or you guys are 37 years of age, and that's when it realized or clocked to them, oh, I need to get into my spiritual bag. Okay. Going back to the Justin Bieber thing, you might have had that type of life. You know, he was kind of like in the center of everybody's life. Everybody was so obsessed with him. And then he went through so much. And all of a sudden, he got into religion, right? And now everything he does, it's mixed with his belief system, right? But it's not in a preachy way. It's kind of like that's a part of his life now. And a lot of people was kind of shocked, where it's like, oh my God, all of a sudden you are a Christian. This is the thing. I think he always was. He wasn't practicing it, but when he got older, it shifted him in that way. That's why he's mentioning it in his songs. But I believe Justin is doing it in the sense of not for the sake of getting approval. There are some people that do that, like, you know, in order to boost their sales and whatnot. Like they make a gospel album, right? Or they are a Muslim for a week. But then they go back to how they used to be, right? Same thing. Everybody that was kind of like into the church environment, they got into like the spiritualism and the occult of it all. And then there's this huge shift, this huge revival of like, oh my God, that's demonic now, that's evil, and all of the exposing, right? Some people are supposed to be in a certain level, on a spiritual level. Some people are not, right? All of this is kind of a recycling of learning and growing. And then there's fusions of things, just like there are fusion foods, like African, Asian fusion food, you know, African or I must keep saying African, but like Mexican and Asian fusion foods, right? Sushi and sushi tacos, right? That's a fusion, that's a mix, where a lot of people like that won't work, but for everyone, but some people might like it, right? So you might believe in something, practice something. You can go all the above, or you can do it in, because everything needs to have balance, right? Oh, I sound very preachy right now. Listen, guys, thank you for watching, and don't think too much of it, because it's them making the effort, doing the work. Okay, my advice to you, for whoever's watching here, is make sure that you have boundaries, and they also understand that, because as somebody that knows about spiritual psychosis and religious psychosis, don't let your person go into that. This could also be why they are getting so attached to you because of that. Spirituality is a spectrum, okay? The main thing is to be grounded, okay? And find a good support system, but be grounded, okay? Heavy on the groundness, okay? GROUND. Google that shit up. Ground yourself, okay? Take time, analyze, journal, question, okay? So that's everything for me to you guys when it comes to this message. Hopefully my timestamps are correct. But until then, see you in the next one. Listen, if this one is a little TMI, like I said before, there are past readings, they'll be linked. Okay, maybe it's a little bit less preachy, but make it make sense to you. And on that note, thank you for stopping by.